Hey, this is Daniel from the blue corner.
John from the red corner.
And Chris from the orange corner.
And today we're going to talk about our year in review of 2023. And we're going to talk about the 5 games that each of us played the most. Did you play it 5 times?
I played 2 games 5 times. John, so.
Oh, those are your bottom 2?
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
All right. Well, let's just jump into this with our number 5 game. Number 5. My number 5 is Unmatched. Should we try to guess each other's? No,
it would be impossible.
It would be impossible.
It was only number 5.
Only number 5.
Is this a certain unmatched
No,
set or unmatched total? Is just
how do you log unmatched?
Yeah, I log.
You do it differently than I do.
Yeah, any game that has like massive expansions like that,
Sure.
I just pick the base game and I log it as that.
Sure.
So the year I was trying to play all my board games, I actually removed all of my expansions so that I can have 100% accuracy. Because otherwise, I'll be like, I played these 4 games once. Anyways, it was hard. But yeah, Unmatched. If you guys aren't familiar with it, it is intellectual property skirmish game. There's General
Zod.
No, public sector IPs
I gotcha.
like King Arthur and Medusa and Sherlock Holmes.
Steamboat Willie now.
Steamboat Willie.
Hopefully we're gonna get Steamboat Willie.
He's a coming. Nah, I would buy it. What am I saying? I don't want it.
Exactly.
I don't want it in there though. But it's just a little skirmish game. It has Marvel characters in it, so I love it. But I've been organizing a tournaments up at Mission Board Games with it as well, and we did a tournament at Meeple-a-thon. I've been a 2-time tournament winner. Okay, well, the one at Meeple-a-thon, I didn't technically win.
I was going to say, you did not win that one.
I was undefeated, and I said, you know what, I'll let the other 2 go at it. I will voluntarily take 3rd so that the other people can win a prize. But I would have destroyed them with Squirrel Girl, too.
You think so?
It's always top form to win your own tournament.
Yes,
that's right.
I know.
That's why
that streak alive.
Well, that's why I had to, take a step back. Cause
wow.
But one of the things we're going to do is also the other 2 are going to talk about the game as well, saying if they want to play Shelf Trade this game, and they can kind of give their thoughts on it too. So, John, what about you?
Well, it's Unmatched. If I had logged it the way you did, it would probably be above top 5 for me. But I do mine by each set. So if I'm playing with this set, I log it as that set. So yeah, and I played it a lot with my kids, and so it's definitely an easy one to play, and it's a fun one to play. I think I'm going to say it's my shelf though, because it is something that I don't want to get rid of it. There's nothing that new and hot that I need to play about it right now, but I will play it a lot. So it is on my shelf.
Yes, yeah, I think all of my top 5s are going to be shelves for me because these are all games that are like actually one will be a play because I need to get it done, which we'll get to that. Spoilers. But John, or not John, you're not John, you're Chris. Chris, what about you? Play Shelf Trade Unmatched?
So I guess I'm gonna go and trade it because I got 0 plays of Unmatched this year. It's a fine game, and if the game sounds fun to you, you're probably going to enjoy it. It's mechanically sound, it is enjoyable, but it just doesn't really scratch my itch like it does these 2. I will say though, also in my opinion, it does have like the best expansion / character of all time in this game because I got to play it with Deadpool, there's a card in there that says if you win, someone has to buy you a drink. We're playing teams, so I ended up getting 2 drinks out of it. I've talked about this before the show, but it's still the greatest thing ever. So the game is fine, but it's just I'd rather do something else in a 2-player environment. There's other 2-player games I'd rather play, but again, if you read it and you like, hey, this game looks great, I think you'll really enjoy it.
Yeah,
cool.
Definitely.
All right, John, what's your number 5?
Let me see. Let's go down the list.
Also, we all use board game stats. We're going to try to get a sponsorship from these people, I think, because we talk about them all the time. We love this app. It is great, and it allows us to do something like this. So, John, what's your number 5?
My number 5 might surprise you guys. It's one that we talked about on the show. It was a game that we kind of premiered on the show.
Oh, Pompeii.
New Kingdom Gardeners.
As
my number 5 game because we play that a lot. The creator of the game was kind enough to send us a copy and let us give our thoughts on it, and we did it. And it's a fun, I would say family weight type game with a little bit of take that and a little bit of strategy and tactics in it, just enough I think that pretty much anybody can play it. And good looking game, and I think it would be a shelf for me as well. I don't own it, but I think it would be a shelf. New Kingdom Gardeners, I like that one quite a bit.
Yeah. Chris.
So I'm gonna say play because I haven't played it yet and I've wanted to. It looks interesting for all the same reasons that John was saying, but yeah, unfortunately I've not got it to play yet.
Yeah. I think it's a shelf for me. I'm pretty sure I backed it. Nice. And I want to keep these Christian themed board games. Like I want to try to find as many of the good ones. Like I don't need
exactly.
Oh, one just came up. I'm gonna throw a picture up of this. It's literally Ouija board Christian Jesus thing. Yes, I saw it on the internet today. It's a Ouija board, but it's like
or something?
yeah, it's a Ouija board, and you're supposed to communicate with the Holy Spirit.
Oh my gosh!
I was like, what?
I'm sure this wasn't satire.
I would not be.
How many reviews did this have?
It had 200 orders.
I would not be playing this outdoors.
I would not either.
Oh, you're right.
Not
I should waited for board game. Believe it or not.
Yeah.
Yes,
that's true. That's fair.
But no, this will be a shelf. I want to keep all the good Christian games and have a good. And this one was good. It was really fun. It had a unique mechanic where you were like you played onto your tableau, which then push it off to somebody else's tableau. Yeah. So when you get some bad things, you can plant bad things and then push it there. But then because it's Christian,
push your sin off on other people.
But you can help them redeem themselves.
Help them.
By taking it from them, and then you get victory points for it.
You got to remove the plank from your own eye before you can help your brother.
That's true. Right. You do got to get rid of it. It makes sense. I like this.
That's right. So it's a solid game. So looking forward to it. All right, Chris, what's your number 5?
All right, so my number 5 is actually a game I only played 3 times because I know Daniel, and I never get to play the same thing over and over. I know this is continual shtick, but it's real, people. See me at a con. I will show you my app and prove it to you. All right, so I'm going to go with one of these that are 3, and yeah, this one, actually, alphabetically, it's the lowest of my 3s, and it's Union Stockyards. Came out last year, I think, or maybe 2021. It was one of those that shipped late. I don't know, but it was new to me, basically, this last year. I think I even talked about it on the year-end show. And yeah, it's just a really good economic game. It kind of has some of that kind of like historicalness to it as well. It uses real companies. Each of the cards have some like kind of background about the things going on, and it's got some unique mechanics. There's like a map, and like as you're building different buildings, you're actually putting it on the grid. And there's kind of some like blocking each other as you're going and stuff like that. You buy land before putting the building on. So, and then it's a very good, simple but very not complex, but just like very kind of deep, and like you really have to watch what you're doing with the market. I really enjoy it. It's really good.
Very cool.
But have you played it yet, John?
I have not.
Okay,
I've not. But
I would. Sorry. So I technically would say I'm gonna say play. Okay. If you brought it, I'm gonna play it and I'm gonna like it and I'm gonna enjoy it. This is one of those games, though. It's funny because it's like Randy has these games too. They're like Randy games. I like Randy games, but I don't want them.
Sure.
There's some Chris games, and I'm like, that's a Chris game, and I'll love it, but I'm like, I don't want it. Sure. So, but I would play it. I would play it, but I would probably definitely never. It would be a trade in any other scenario. If I walked past it, I'd be like, nah, I don't need that.
Really?
But if Chris says it's a good game, I would definitely play it because I usually like the games that Chris finds like that. So
interesting.
Yeah.
This is one that it piqued my interest before you played it and told me about it, because maybe it shouldn't, but I'd say I like theme, okay?
Sure.
And I like theme that's like down to earth more than fantasy for the most part. And this is down to earth. This is down to earth theme, unless it's Marvel. I mean, I don't consider that fantasy. I consider that's sci-fi. It's very real.
It's real to
me. But it's going to be a play for me. I've been wanting to play that one. It's one that's piqued my interest for some time. So yeah, and it plays quick too, like 45 minutes or something.
Yeah, like that. I mean, so even like the first game with the teach, maybe an hour and a half. Okay, so it plays pretty quick.
That elevates it for me. Then I would actually play it.
Yeah, definitely in for Union Stockyards. Yeah, sounds like a winner.
All right, well, let's move on to number 4.
Number 4.
All right, so number 4 for me is My City. And that's going to be a play for me because I need to get it played. I'm playing it with my family, playing it with Owen and Brendan. So that's a 10-year-old and an 8-year-old. And we're trying to work on Owen to be a good loser. And so what happens usually?
It runs in the family.
Be a good loser.
Yeah.
So, he's the youngest, so he tends to lose, and then he kind of loses his mind. But like, one of the things so if you don't know about My City, it's kind of a legacy game where you are building your own city. If you win, you get a reward, but if you lose, sometimes you get like a better reward. So I keep trying to tell Owen, like, hey, if you lose, you're actually going to get better off in the future. But he really wanted a gold nugget, which is a race from one gold mine to another, and it's polyominoes that you're laying down. And anyways, so we just gave him a gold nugget. We're like, here you go, Owen. And that solved a lot of issues. Sometimes you got to give your kid a gold nugget to get him to stop whining.
Wow,
it works. Yeah, for me, it's definitely a play. I own it as well. I've tried to get a play with my wife for a while. It's just difficult. She's a nurse, and so she's very tired and stuff like that, so I don't get to play a lot. But recently, we actually were playing with our friends, Ryan and Laura. We talk about it a lot, and we played they had the game, they played all the way through the Legacy, and we were playing the post Legacy forever. Like that's one of those. It's a Legacy game that you can, once you played it, it's still useful. Unlike Pandemic or something like that, where it's just like put it on your wall. While it was amazing, it's dead to you. While this game you can continue to play. So, ironically enough, we did that, and it renewed kind of her interest. So we actually played it recently, and I might be talking about it later.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Spoilers.
Yeah.
My City is
But only
might.
Maybe.
My City is one of those games that when it came out and I heard all the buzz that was generated around it, I kept looking into it. And then I would hear about it again, look into it again. And every time I would forget that this is a legacy game that I want to know part of, really. So it's definitely a trade for me. I think I would like to play it once or something, but it's
Honestly, John, I
it's not
think
gonna be
you
something
and
I would have.
Kim would love this game.
She
I
would
really do.
have to really love it.
I think she would.
Okay.
I really think, and you guys would have quite a good experience.
Yeah.
So
Well, I've still got the legacy expansions for It's a Wonderful World we haven't played, so
well, this
Just
is
gonna have to wait
different.
for
It's
it.
polyomino. It takes the
true. She
game
does
takes
like the
like
polyomino.
and it takes like 20 minutes to play.
Okay, yeah.
They're really snappy. The rules are quick.
It's
and-
intuitive.
yeah.
It's gratifying. Like that. I think that's one thing about the polyominoes. I think people as a whole like without saying. It's really gratifying putting them together, right? And like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I got that one in that one spot. It feels
Yeah.
like, oh, like,
True.
and, like I think, and so yeah, I think she would like it. So
Yeah.
Yep,
but-
still a trade.
That
can I tell you that it's made by the Good Doctor? And does that move
That moves a little bit.
Yeah,
She does move a little bit.
There you go.
I'll tell you that. That does move a little bit.
All right.
Oh,
well,
is this my
John?
turn?
Yeah, you're on to you.
Oops, I lost my deal here.
Don't lose your deal.
Lost
That's
my deal.
not great.
There it is.
I hate when I lose my
Oh,
deal.
it went away.
All the
Okay, number 5 for me is, and we talked about this earlier because I couldn't believe it didn't get mentioned when we were talking about the best games of 2023, and that is Earth, because Earth is number 4 on my list of the most plays, and I enjoyed all my plays, but maybe Daniel's right that this game is just maybe not innovative enough to really stand out and have a lot of staying power. He might be right about that, but I never really said that it would stand out and have staying power. What I said was it's better than Terraforming Mars and it's better than Ark Nova
That's so
because I like it better than either one of those. I'll say that. But to me, it's probably still a shelf because I haven't played it all that much, even though it's my number 4 game played. And I do enjoy it. I do enjoy Earth, and there's still some people that I know that would like to play it. So it's going to be on my shelf for now. What are you guys thinking about Earth?
Yeah, for me it's a trade. I just really don't enjoy it. It's fine. It's fine.
Don't score enough points.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like no matter what you do, you're gonna do okay. Like the points are just thrown at you. I believe I talked about it. Like we were talking about being drowning in points,
The
right?
baseline is
A
about
river of
150.
points, right? And so like when games like that, like while that's nice and all, like I just feel like my actions don't really matter if I'm just gonna get a whole bunch of points in many different ways. And so it's not like I'm against the theme. I'm not against the Earth or anything like that.
I think Earth.
But yeah, I mean, if I have to choose it or Mars, I'm going to Mars because Terraforming Mars is way better, way better. The zoo, though.
In that case, I'm going to the zoo.
Yeah.
Ark Nova is the superior of the three.
burn down the zoo as well. But actually, I know. Speaking of like that kind of theme, like the game, it's not on the list because I didn't play it that many times. I think I only played it once at Gen Con. But that Forest Shuffle, I really like that game. Nice and snappy.
There you go.
Has a environment theme, and it's good. I like it.
Cool. Yeah, it's gonna be a trade for me as well. It was fine. I would play it again, but I don't need to play it again. We talked about Terraforming Mars and Ark Nova. I actually do like both of those games. And then there's also, well, it's different. You have the Lost Ruins of Arnak, and I just played Revive that has this feel. It's like there's so many other games that fill that card tableau building stuff that Earth just didn't do it for me. It just felt like the same thing all those other games did, but easier. Which I'm beyond just needing to play a game because it's easy. Like I might play it with somebody because they need an easier game, but like I'm not going to choose to do that.
Where's my game snob sign?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, take that. All right, we just trashed your game. So, Chris, what about yours?
All right. So my number 4, let's go with okay, I talked about it earlier. I'm gonna say Pandemic Legacy Season 2.
Okay.
And maybe this is even a trade for me, which is
wow.
weird. Like we started
complete it?
No, that's the thing. Like so we played Pandemic Legacy Season 1 and like it's an experience. That game is an experience. If you can enjoy legacy games in any way, shape, or form, if you can enjoy cooperative games in any way, shape, or form, you need to play Legacy Season 1. It is a triumph. The second one, though, like, it's fine. And it's actually exactly what I want from an expansion or a follow up, which is just more of the game. But in this case, it was actually its problem because it was like I had run the marathon, I'd run the race, and I'd done it, and it was a feat, and it was fantastic. It's like, I don't really want to do the exact same thing again.
Yeah.
So we got like 3 plays in, and then we just haven't got back to it. I'm pretty sure all 3 of those plays were like in January of last year.
Wow.
So I still really like it. I'm interested in finishing it, but I'm not motivated. So, yeah, I just thought I'd bring that one up just because it was like a very interesting situation. So.
That is interesting. I think it would be, I'm going to go with trade as well. Co-ops aren't that, I'm not too keen on it. And we have been playing Pandemic Season 1. And while I've enjoyed it. Maybe it was because I played with 2 separate groups. Somebody had to switch out halfway. Both people had, there was one person in the group who was like, I can just do 1 game a night.
Oh.
That took away from it. So there was a lot of these things with Pandemic Season 1 that like was problematic for me. So like at this point, am I excited to play Season 2? Not really. I would like to finish Season 1, and maybe when I'm done, I'm like, yeah, let's do Season 2. But like, it has to end on a high note for me to get to that point to even want to play it. So for now, I'm gonna say a trade.
Right.
Oh yeah, it's trade all day for me. Pandemic was when I was first getting into the gaming renaissance that we're in currently, and was running a game day over at a church I used to attend, and
attended to it.
Friend of mine brought Pandemic, and okay, let's give it a try. And that was the worst time. The worst time I probably have ever had playing a game, and the alpha gaming and such.
Sure.
I think it's one of those games where if you're all learning it together, and it probably makes a big difference. And they probably learned it together.
Yeah.
And so then it's me, and I'm like, well, I'm going to do it. Well, you know what you really should do?
Right.
That makes sense. You're right. I should do that.
And not trying to get...
so it's like a spectator of my own game. And so I don't need to do that for a whole season.
Yeah, and not trying to like get off the rails or take time here, and I know we've talked about it before, but like there's no way around it. Like co-op games are the most group dependent games there are. Like you have to have that great group, and honestly, for me, that was part of it. It's like my 4 that I played with was my wife and then Ryan and Laura, and it was just like aces because we viewed the game as we were a team, and every turn was all of our turns. When it would get to the next person, I'd be like, all right, guys, what do we think's the right play here? And we would talk it out and everything like that. And then, maybe we have a slight disagreement, right? But we are all within the same variance to where it's like, yeah, you know what? I think it's about the same. You go ahead and do that thing that you think. It's fine, right? And so, yeah, you have to have the right group. And I will say, standard Pandemic is just okay. But the pieces, the actual legacy part of Pandemic Legacy is what it makes it so great. So I know you're not a huge on Legacy. I'm just saying, like, it's infinitely better, the Legacy version, than the standard game. So
did he convince you?
No. In perpetuity, I'll have to take your word for it.
That's fair. That's fair.
Number 3.
All right. So my number 3 is this game right here. Not this one specifically, but it's Marvel Legendary. This is where I got to start bragging about how many I've actually. I only played this one 12 times. Usually I
loser.
I know. Usually I get this played like 50 times in the year.
Yeah, you do a lot of solos, right?
I do a lot of solos, and play with my kids sometimes too. Brendan, it's funny with Brendan. So I have all these. There's probably, if you don't know, this is a deck building game with Marvel theme, of course. But it's been out since 2012, and they come out with 3 to 4 expansions a year. So I have, what's the math on that? 1,000 expansions, and
that's the math.
Yeah, and I used to play a lot with my wife, but she doesn't
like.
Light? Yeah, no. She actually likes it too. She doesn't like all the new rules they add, which as a Magic player, you probably understand that. Like every set has to have like a new keyword. And then like, it's so annoying. It's like, go back, visit the old keywords. But because of that, it's harder for her to play the new sets. So I play those by myself. But with Brendan, I'm starting from the beginning. And I'm making him play all the villains and all the heroes, and then we're just moving on, so like he can learn it as we go, and that's been pretty helpful. So, but yeah, so Legendary, it's a trade for me. This is actually one of my favorite games.
What?
You said trade?
You're gonna trade it?
And yeah, I'm done.
Why
with
you
it.
trade? Man,
no, I meant
shocking
shelf.
the world.
What? Sorry, I meant shelf. And actually, this one and my next 2 are going to be. They're probably my top 4 games of all time. To be honest, so this might be the most played and my favorite games of all time too. Legendary was number 1 for a very long time. Maybe it still is on any given day. The biggest flaw I have with Legendary is that, and the reason I play it alone, is when I play it with other people, there's a toss-up if they're just going to destroy this game for me. Like, this is the game I played the most where I'm like, that was a horrible experience and I never want to play a game with you again. Like, it makes me mad when I play games with these people just because they're like, what does this card do? And it's like, I told you 10 times already. Can you freaking just play the card? Like, it's because there's so much text on there. So because of that, it has slipped probably from my number one because I realized, man, if I can't play this game with people,
Sure.
is it really my number one? But I do love it a lot and it's very thematic and it's Marvel. So.
Okay.
I feel like we just need to make a whole video about this game and our relationship because I'm actually not the person. I don't think I've actually even played this game with him.
Yeah.
I'm a big Magic player. I actually recently got into Pokemon as well. If you like Magic, by the way, let me just throw this out here. If you like Magic, you should play Pokemon because Pokemon is basically like vintage, like Magic, which costs like thousands of dollars to get involved in for like half the price of standard. Like you can get a deck for like $70.
John may not know this, but this is huge coming from Chris.
Correct.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is.
But anyways, that's a side note. So I've actually never played this game with him, but it's been a long time razzing back and forth on Legendary about it, and I keep messing with him mostly because it's Marvel. But I'm gonna say this is for sure is a play for me. I do want to find out about this game.
Yay!
I want to understand.
I played.
What I'm missing, what's really going on here, and I don't know. Part of my lens is like, again, Magic is just the pinnacle of existence, and so it's hard for me to want to play any other card game for that reason, and because I don't know of like an actual like real tournament presence for this game, so I was just like, well,
it's cooperative technically.
Oh, that
Yeah.
must be why.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, but maybe it could still be fun. Okay, so I just need us to view it more under the I can't think of the name. The original card deck building game.
Dominion.
I need to view it under the Dominion lens opposed to Magic
like that.
lens.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
yeah,
Well, then
definitely
maybe I'll actually enjoy it.
It was actually
like
one
a
of the first
cooperative Dominion.
follow-ups.
Yeah.
From
Gotcha,
Dominion. It was
okay.
like Dominion. Then there was like Ascension and Thunder and oh my gosh,
Thunderstone.
Thunderstone.
Then
And
Love
then
and Thunder.
and then no, don't bring that one
Yeah.
up, please. But then DC deck building game came out
Mhm.
and Legendary came out, and
Gotcha.
DC deck building was like Ascension, and this was like Thunderstone. Marvel Legendary was like
Interesting.
Marvel. So yeah, it was kind of an interesting. I've always viewed it as like a treat.
Yeah.
Interesting. Anyway, to round this out and bring this to a quick and too late for that. To bring this to an end, a merciful end. Actually, it's a play for me because, I think I might be one of the plays that Daniel has all this consternation about. But I don't know. I've only played it once, and I was never asked to play it again. So I've got to wonder if
I guarantee you, it is nobody watching this, but I'm still not going to use names though. But
Okay.
it's just people who can't process the cards very quickly. And you have to in this game,
Sure.
or else
Gotcha.
it's a slog otherwise.
Yeah.
And then there was one scenario. It was called like the cops. It was the villain scenario, so you're actually fighting the cops, and they would arrest one of your cards. And we played 5 players, and literally we played for like an hour, and nobody could recruit more than one card because they kept taking our cards from us, and we're like, how do we stop this? It was never meant to be played with 5 players. So that was a bad. I mean, it didn't say that.
Yeah,
but
Sure.
it's not. Yeah.
I got
Gotcha.
Okay.
But anyways,
yeah, it's a play for me.
all right,
I'll give it another
We're
shot.
playing this. We're going to review this on the show.
Oh, we
sounds
could.
Yeah,
we could.
we've talked about this
Good luck
before.
getting
Like
Andy to play.
all of our, no, he's
Yeah.
going to play it because all of our like number one games, I think we should like review on the show
okay.
and talk about
If we haven't already.
Yeah,
Sure.
exactly. Well, as yours,
Yes.
what's that?
You'll find out.
Okay,
No
I
spoilers.
don't mean number one here. I meant
Well,
of
that's
all
what I'm
time.
saying.
Okay, well, whatever.
All time.
All time. All right, John. What about you?
Oh, what about me?
End
What
this
number are we
conversation.
up to? Number 3?
Number 3.
Let's get to a game people have played.
Whatever. Marvel Legendary's been around for a lot of years.
It has.
And Daniel's played it a lot.
Well, this game has not been around for a lot of years. I think it's a 2022 game. I didn't look. But Caesar's Empire is my number 3 play. And I think something I've been saying a lot on the show is the best ability for a game is playability. And Caesar's Empire has that. It's got playability. And the funny thing about it, when I was introducing it to my sister, who usually doesn't like heavy games or anything like that, I'm like, you see how it sounds? Like, I got a new game for us to play. Caesar's Empire. Oh, no way. I want no part of that game. Then you bring it out, it's got this cartoon Caesar on the front of it. Like, come on.
Yeah.
Little plastic minis of guys, making a road. And fun. It's basically an abstract game. And I remember when I watched the review of it, and that was the part that I didn't like about it, was I was like, it's basically an abstract game. Do I like this game? Other than that, it looks pretty good. And then I think it was one of these big sales I found it at. I don't know if it was a Black Friday thing at one time or something.
It was on Amazon. I remember that for
Is that what
specifically.
it could have been that. I'm not sure. But
it was really cheap because I almost got it
not a
myself.
sponsor.
Well, yeah.
But But anyway,
But come on, Amazon.
but anyways, I got it. And then when it arrived at the house, I was like, oh yeah, it's basically just an abstract game. But then I played it. I said, this is a fun game, and it plays quick, and just you can talk anyone into playing it. And so it's that for that reason, it is a shelf for me because that is not going anywhere. I pull that out a lot. Plays up to 6 people, I think it is too.
Maybe.
And so yeah, it's pretty amazing. There's like 2 sides of the board. Looks beautiful. The pieces are fun. It's quick to play. Caesar's Empire is a winner. Cool. What are you guys thinking?
For me, it's absolutely a shelf. I really like that game. I was questioning it because first of all, I knew it was super cheap on Amazon. It's like, well, why are they selling? Why they're liquidating them? That kind of thing. Yeah. And again, like the goofy front, it's got this weird like cartoony like Caesar like going on. And so I was like, I don't know. And then the pieces are like tons of plastic, and I'm like, oh no, what have we got into? And then we started playing it, and I was just like, this is fantastic. Yeah. It's a quick, snappy, like you said, almost like abstract type game, but it, like
zero luck involved in the game. It's
right, but no luck, and like while it's simple, your actions like you really do matter. There's tons of agency in the game. I don't know what I actually put as my surprise of 2023. It might have actually been no, that's right. Envelopes of Cash was indeed the most surprising game of 2023. Yes. If not for Envelopes of Cash, it might have been this game, to be honest. So
that last third of the game is very crunchy and a lot of decisions that you have to make.
It does slow down a bit.
You're like painstakingly, oh, what do I need to do? Because there's so many things that you're trying to accomplish. Yeah,
it doesn't slow like that down to a crawl towards a problem, but like it does ramp up your like decision making and AP a bit. So
I mean, I guess I'll play it. Sure, you guys convinced me. I never played it. No, I did technically buy it, but I got it on the second Friday or on the Black Friday sale at Mission Board Games. Yeah, and I got it for like $10. Yeah, but I gave it away in the gift exchange. Right. So as one of the extra games. Yeah, sure. So, but yeah, it does look goofy as they get all out.
It does.
I can see why it's not popular, why it's not talked about, why it's constantly being on discount. It's like they really should have changed that cover because it's not doing helping.
Yeah. Yeah, if the cover would have been more serious and the pieces would have been less cartoony, like if everything about it would have been less cartoony and more serious, I think the game could have done way better.
Could be right.
Possibly. All right. Well, Chris, what about your number 3?
All right. Well, John jumped in front of me because I had a perfect transition. I'm like, speaking of my number 1 game of all time, it's my number 3 this year of plays, Power Grid.
Hey. Gotcha.
So I got 3 of those. We'll get 3 of those plays in. I know one of them was like at the lake, which was kind of fun. We didn't do it at the water; it was inside the house. But I played that 3 times this year. I wish it was 30 times because I really, really love the game. It's so funny. My just a relationship with that game when it first came out. I was playing it when it first came out, and back then our view on complexity of games and stuff was very different as a community and everything like that. And the game just melted my brain when I first started playing it, and I wasn't a huge fan. It was just okay or whatever. And then over the last 10, 15 years, I've just fallen in love more and more and more with it. Now I love it for reasons of it's actually fairly simple, but the way that the power plants come out and like the maps it's a new puzzle to solve every single time that is familiar, that you know what you're doing, and therefore it's snappy, but you just got a new puzzle to solve every single time, and that's why I love it.
Yeah, it's a shelf for me. It's on my shelf. I actually lost it for a while. I couldn't find it anywhere, and then I looked up and I go, "Oh, it's right there."
Yeah, he always claims that I steal his stuff every single time he can't find it. So he's like, "Do you have my thing?" I swear you have it. I know you have to have it. I don't have it.
It was the D&D minis, and I'm still convinced. I found them, but I'm still convinced you had them. You snuck into my house. No, Power Grid's great. It's a tight auction game that is just it's like you said, it's simple. It's really easy to understand. The auctions are really tight. It has that fun, like you kind of want to be in second the whole game. You really don't want to be in first, because if you're in first, in that last round, it's just gonna kill you.
Yep.
So like there's just a really clever things about it. This is an old man game, 2000.
It's like 2007.
Yeah.
But 7, 9, something there. Yeah,
that's old. I actually thought about this, Chris.
But it's not that.
Do you realize we're old?
Oh, absolutely.
So when we're like, this game came out early 2000s.
Yeah.
My kids think that's the Stone Age.
Yeah, that's fair.
These are old games.
But
it was one that holds up, and if it was given to you today and you didn't know what day it was developed, you would have thought it was today. It holds up. It's a shelf. I love the game.
This game should be my trade because it's ugly. It has a weird box.
You don't like Knob Guy?
That stupid box. I mean, come on. Is this Monopoly from 1965, or is this a game that's come out in 2007? Give me a break. However, it's going to surprise you, Chris. This is going to be my play.
Yeah.
I have to get it played for reasons of talking about it on the show, and then we can do a
great game
debate.
Yep.
And good friend of mine, game designer Matt Saunders,
Oh yeah.
has been wanting to play this game with me. So I'm going to give in. I'm going to play it. I may like it. I may not like it. It's not going to be on my shelf though because it's butt ugly. So it ain't going to be on my shelf.
I'm glad you brought up that. So when I first got into gaming, I played with these group of guys at the game store, and they were like, "Okay, I got this game, and I promise you, it looks stupid. It's so ugly, but it's great. You know, you'll love it." And they show it to me, and it's the Power Grid, and I'm thinking in my head, that looks really cool. Like I want to play a game where I'm running a power grid and turning the nods on them. And I told them that. I said, "No, that looks pretty cool." And they're like, "No, it doesn't.
It doesn't. Shut up."
I'm like,
stupid.
I'm like, but I'm interested. And they're like, they just looked at me like I was.
Oh my god.
I was like, okay, I'll just like pretty games now. I promise.
Yes. That's fine.
That was the day. Say I could have went your path, Chris.
You could have,
but that day changed me. It was there's a Daniel
like
out there
in season
who
3
stood his ground.
In the multiverse, there's a Daniel like me. Fantastic. Fantastic.
All right. Well, Power Grid. We'll look for that one on the show as well.
Number 2.
So my number 2 is a Marvel themed game.
No
What?
way.
What?
Dagger.
This one
it's got to be Dagger.
Oh my gosh. Did we do Disappointments of the Year? Oh no, that was Age of Heroes.
Yes, that was going to be my next guess.
Dagger's my other one. Which, if I'm playing a Marvel themed game, if I'm disappointed, it shouldn't be a surprise.
Wow.
But unfortunately, it is. But my favorite games are also Marvel themed games, and that's why I get so excited about them. So this one is Marvel Champions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this one is more like Magic, but it's a living card game, so it's not collectible. But you do get to build your own deck. I've been playing this one solo a lot, but then Randy finally decided he'd join me because it's a derivative of the Lord of the Rings deck building game, or not deck building game, but a living card game. That he really likes, and him and our friend Trevor. But Trevor moved, so Randy's like, "Well, if I want to play this game, I guess I'll have to play Marvel." And I was like, "Yes, you do." So we've been playing it, and it's really fun. They usually come in scenario boxes, and you can mix and match what heroes go through those scenarios, but they come with like 5 different villains. Very thematic. They're very rewarding. It is cooperative, but it's that cooperative where I can't tell you what to do, John. Like you just have so much going on. I can't say the collaboration is, hey, I have a thing that if I kill somebody, I get this benefit, and I can kill that one pretty easy. Can you decide to go somewhere else? That's the kind of, if you want to call that alpha gaming, which I wouldn't. I think that's just strategic planning or whatever. So that's what it is. But yeah, Marvel Champions, I love it. Yeah, and then the X-Men set came out, I think this year.
There you go. Forget about it. Forget
X-Men.
about it.
Marvel, yes. X-Men, first love. So anything X-Men, it's really hard for me not to enjoy. Yeah. All right.
Well, I got to tell you, it's as much as I love Marvel as well. I don't need Legendary and Champions. No, I was looking at the both of them, and before we even played it, Legendary looks way superior to me to Champions. So if I'm going to play Legendary, I don't need Champions. Champions can get out of my life. That's going to be a trade. Sorry,
a trade? With your love for Marvel?
Would I keep it?
Well, a play at least.
I trade games that I like just because they don't get played. Not games I'm never going to play. Sorry, it's not going to happen.
All right, so I'm going to go trade here.
Oh my gosh! Have you ever played it before?
Okay, so I have, and I think the main thing is there's 2 games that have ruined this entire genre for me. All these living card, like cooperative card games, like there's 2 games that have ruined it for me. One is Dominion / Magic. I love the playing my cards, not just I'm going to play that and this. All right, go ahead. It's your turn. I'm going to wait 5 minutes to card. All right, you go. I can't do that. And the 2 games that have ruined it for me is Magic / Dominion, having that quick card play, and then the other is the OG of all these games, which is Sentinels of the Multiverse. Okay. I just can't get interested in these games.
Shout out to Adam Ribitaro.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Friend of the family.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Created Sentinels of the Multiverse.
Oh, yes. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. They're just not gratifying to me. That's the only way to describe it. These games are not gratifying. And maybe I need to try to move on, like have a fresh set of eyes for these kind of games. But it's just, I don't know. Whenever I sit down and play them, I feel like I'm playing more Sentinels, and that game has just never been fun to me.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. The whole genre is it's just tough for me to have a good time.
If I could remove one game from history, I'd remove Magic, because that way Chris would actually enjoy card games. Magic has ruined this kid. I love card games. Chris hypothetically loves card games, but he's like, why play any of those that you have when we can play Magic? I mean, because it's other games.
No, there's really not.
Good point. Very good point.
All right. Well, whatever. I don't need your love. I got Randy's.
Yeah, Randy's love.
All right, John, what about you?
Number 2. My number 2 is a game that came out in 2023, and it was my game of the year. And that is World Wonders, the amazing tile laying game. That I bought at Gen Con. I was one of the few people that got it at Gen Con. This guy's making fun of me running around trying to get the stuff I want right away.
Is it because you're a famous YouTuber?
No, it is not. But a friend of ours did come up and say that. I don't know if you know that.
Oh, no.
While I was talking to somebody, I was trying to get him to subscribe to the show. Don't I know you from YouTube?
That's awesome.
He didn't even let on that he knew me.
Anyway. It was Andy, wasn't it?
No.
That was a different interaction.
But anyway, I was like, what was it, about 30 minutes in that I went to get World Wonders?
Yeah, you went straight for it.
And there was only like 12 left when I went over there, and that was apparently all they had for the whole con. So,
wow, I didn't know that. That's crazy.
And it wasn't one where I was like, I got it at the con, and then it sat on my shelf for 6 months. I actually got it played right away, and it's been played multiple. It's number 2 played game of the year. Yeah. And he didn't even get it till August.
Right.
So, pretty good. Oh, amazing game. Daniel's going to say it plays too long. I don't even know if you've ever played it. Have you ever played World Wonders? Okay.
Yeah.
But it does take longer than you would think a game like that would take. I'll say that.
Yes.
Sure.
But a lot of it's just the decision making. It's not the actual gameplay. And I don't think I've ever played it without teaching it either.
Yeah.
I would like to just sit down and play it with game. But when does that ever happen?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But John, I do got to say,
when is somebody not new to the game? So.
I played an entire unmatched tournament in the time it took you to play that game.
Match tournament?
Tournament!
Well, but it was just you versus yourself.
I mean, this is a
exactly.
I finished, and he wasn't.
And you can see it.
I took the pieces out of the box, and I put them back.
Anyway, for me, World Wonders is going to be a shelf because it's something I think I'm going to have for a long time and play a lot. I think it's going to be one of my most played games, at least for a couple more years. What about you guys?
You're next.
Yeah. So thank you. We should put like a clip of Goldberg in here of who's next. Anyways, so I'll put it on the shelf. It's a good solid polyomino game basically.
Yeah.
And like it like it's a little gimmicky with the pieces. Like they are, it's like they're nice. They're fine. I enjoy them. I feel like they're a little unnecessary. I do give them props to the fact that they're all wooden opposed to plastic, so I appreciate that. And yeah, I mean, if you're new to board games or you're new to the polyomino genre and you're like, this one looks interesting, sure, you'll probably have a blast with it. Again, if you're going to look for like one with a legacy thing, go with My City. But like those are the two that I'd point you in the direction of with polyomino games. So it's worth the praise that it gets. It's a good, solid, enjoyable game. Yeah.
One of the things before we go to Daniel, one of the things I want to say is what I like about it is that it seems ripe for expansions because we
absolutely
throw 5 wonders in a box.
Yeah,
just one in a bag with a card.
Oh, exactly.
Like you can do
mini expansions, stuff like that.
And I could see this breaking the rule of expansions for me, where I don't want it to change the game. I think they could change the game and it would still work. I could see them adding some kind of extra track or some extra resource.
Extra ability.
For another track. I can see that.
No, I would say shelf this. If I won't, because you have it, I'm not going to go out and buy it. Right. But if it did see it on sale, I probably would pick it up. It is deceptively long, and it's not like hours.
No.
Yeah.
But it is like an hour and a half to 2 hours.
It's over an hour.
And you look at it and you're like, how is a polyomino game taking you guys 2 hours to play?
Yeah, right.
But when I played it, it didn't feel like 2 hours. It went by quick. Yeah. It was a good time. And so it was a play. Also, I love the mechanics one of my favorite things in games is when it's I have to guess what you're going to do so that I know what to do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And this game has that because you can build this wonder. The wonder costs you the rest of your money.
Yes.
Correct.
So if you buy it in the first round, it costs you 7 money. If you buy it in your last turn, it could cost you 1 money. But will someone buy it first?
Exactly.
So I get to look at everyone's board and I go, okay, John can't buy it. Chris can't buy it. I'm good.
Yeah.
I don't have to buy it. I can take these other actions. Oh no, Chris just brought the prerequisite for it. All right, got to do it because then he might.
Or do I risk it another round?
Yeah.
Right.
Which I'm not.
Yeah.
But do it. No.
Sure.
So
I think I've had almost every play of it. I've had that one person that just bought something you didn't think. You have 5 gold left. Are you kidding me? I thought I had another chance to buy that. Nope, I'm buying it.
You got to do it. You never know.
Yeah, that's
because they're looking at you going, "You're going to get that."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like it's a fun implementation of a game of chicken, basically.
Yeah,
and it's kind of the core mechanic that separates it from everything else, and it delivers again. But like Daniel says, it does linger a touch, like it feels just a touch long, but not so long that it's going to off-put you by any means. Yeah, so cool.
All right, what's your number 2, Chris?
All right, my number 2 is the other polyomino game you should buy, My City. So, and the difference here is that it's a lot quicker. Speaking of how, like, World Wonders, not Age of Wonders, World Wonders can take like hour and a half, 2 hours. You can like play like 6 games in that length. It plays very snappy. It's pretty quick. The legacy elements are enjoyable. They're not like they don't change, like they don't just turn the whole game upside down like sometimes like you feel like some other legacy games do, which can be good or bad depending on your opinion of what that change was. So it's pretty, it just kind of slowly ramps up. It's nice and like relaxing. It doesn't take a whole lot of thought, but at the same time your actions, you do have a ton of agency. It's gratifying. Like I said, I really enjoyed playing it, and like I said, I have played it recently with the post legacy, with the forever side that you can pick up and play anytime around.
It's a forever game.
It's a forever game, and it's great. It plays great. It's so funny is that was the first way I played it. Actually, was the forever way. So when we went to go play the legacy version, my wife and I, you don't have all the scoring ways that you do in the forever way out of the box with the legacy. So because of it, we were planning on some additional scoring ways that don't happen your very first round. So my wife won with 1 point, and I lost with -5 points. So yeah.
Yep.
So did we convince you?
Well, after hearing Chris talk about it,
but how you can get -5 points?
I'm going to stick with trades.
All right. Well, the moment you've all been waiting for.
We
already talked about it. My City.
Oh, I guess you talked about it earlier. Yeah, my bad. It was
you want me to repeat myself?
I forgot it was a crossover.
I'll rewind the tape.
Could just play your little part.
And finally, number 1.
All right, so my number 1, brace yourself. It's a Marvel game.
No way.
And this time,
it's good.
Marvel United. Is it good? I don't know. So Marvel United, I will say this. There's a couple of things about this. Okay, so one, it's a cooperative game where you are chasing the villain around the board. I have all the expansions, and I have more coming. And each villain plays so unique and so different, changes the game to where if you played the base game, I played the base game and I was like, oh no. Like, I don't know if I'm going to like this game. And I just invested a lot. I got the expansion stuff and I'm like, oh no, this villain's cool. This villain's cool. Oh, this is really cool. And then you start getting into it and you realize that it's such a puzzle, like, because you have such few actions to actually accomplish clearing off the thugs, clearing off the civilians in the city, and then going after the villains. And then all the while they have these plot twists on the board that could hinder your attempts to get it, so you can try to get rid of the plot twists. Well, if you're getting rid of the plot twists, then your cities are being overran with villains and civilians, so it's always this balance of like, oh no, what do I do? And while the heroes all feel not much different, the villains are significantly different, which makes the replayability of this game and makes it just a joy to play. I've played it with our friend Ryan, who actually really enjoyed it. I've played it with my son and my wife and Owen, Owen, Brendan, and Sarah, and they all enjoy it. So a game that I can play with Ryan and enjoy, and my family enjoy, and by myself enjoy. I mean, what's not to love about this game? I like it a lot. Oh, I know what I was going to say about it. I will say that the miniatures, right? They are completely not necessary. It is 100% a gimmick. I will admit that. But if it didn't have those miniatures, maybe I'd still back it. But
doubt it.
It's Marvel. So yeah. But it does add to it. But no, it could definitely be like a token. Same thing. I could go grab my hero clicks and use them too. So
I like that idea.
So yeah, while it wasn't necessary, they're nice to have, and I'm glad I have them. So
gotcha. So Marvel United should be my trade because I've owned it and traded it. But I think I screwed this up because I own the base game. I played it with my youngest son. I'm like, oh, this is when they like Marvel now. My sons both like DC. I'm sorry.
Losers.
I know, I haven't been living right.
Realism, what a loser.
We played it. He enjoyed it. I don't think we played it quite right. It was our first play, but whatever. It was just, we're learning the game. And afterwards, I'm going on eBay. I'm like, oh, look, we get Daredevil. Just like, when we get Daredevil, we're just going to love the Daredevil series. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. We should get this. I let it sit. Didn't play it quick enough. Got forgotten. Don't want to play it, Dad. I don't want to play it. So it never gets played again. So it's gone, but it's a play for me because I want to play it.
Oh,
and especially with all the new stuff that you got and everything, Daniel can own it. I'll come over. I'll pick a hero, and
Let's play right now.
That sounds good. Yeah,
Live play
I will
Marvel
definitely play it.
United right now.
Yeah.
Only if he plays it.
Well, people,
Right,
it's
there
not
you
getting
go.
played.
Ah.
So I'm trading for the same reason that I want to play Legendary or any of these other card-based cooperative games. It's not gratifying for me, and it's not like I don't like playing cooperatives. Like I said, I love playing them in Legacy. I love the group think. It's my favorite thing, actually. I love when the magic is happening of a group activity and everyone's working together as a team. There is nothing I love more in my life than working as a team with people. But like the game, I just don't do enough on my turn. Like, just don't do enough on my turn in all these games. So it's really just not gratifying for me. So I will admit, the production of this game, start to finish, is incredible. The miniatures are completely unnecessary, like you said.
But they are great.
But they are
great.
cool.
Yeah.
And then like the mat that he has, like I don't really care about the neoprene mats. In fact, by the way, if you're gonna make a game and you got neoprene mats, fit it in the box or don't make it. It makes me so angry. With that said, the neoprene mat for this game is really cool. How it's a big circle and everything like that. It
does not fit in the box.
It absolutely does not fit in the box.
None of the boxes.
Exactly, because they're all the same size.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's they've done a very good job with this game. So, but it's, I don't know. Again, it just falls flat in all the other ways of all the games in the genre.
You know, I want to highlight this. John
Yes.
really dislikes cooperative games.
What I'm hearing is Chris hates cooperative.
I actually don't like them a lot either. Chris loves them.
I know, isn't that weird?
And yet, like, my top 3 games are like
That is so
cooperative.
weird. Yeah,
That is
because
true.
it has to be the right one for me. This is the
It
right
does,
one.
it
I will play.
does.
It's quick, number one.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's a great theme.
Yeah.
And I think I like the subtle differences between the different heroes.
Yeah.
And I love the differences, wild differences in the villains.
Yeah.
Sure.
So for all those reasons, I really like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and for every reason I should love this game, especially the fact that like the villains are so different. It's that different puzzle every time. Like the reason I love Power Grid, right?
Yeah.
It's like, wow, this is wildly different. We really got to change our strategy. I should love it, but it just falls flat for me.
He
so.
just hates Marvel and he hates me.
Well, I mean,
It's like you're half right. I'll let you guess which half.
I mean, there's no halves here. It's a full. So no. All right. So
John's turn.
What are we up to?
Number 1.
Oh, number 1.
No.
Did you hear Hansa?
I know.
That's right.
So yes, number 1 has been featured and talked about numerous times on our show. I think to pretty much collective acclaim. And my number
Heaven
1
and hell.
game is that's not going to be my number 1 played. I'd be lucky if there's ever another play of that. Bad Company. What a great! I mean, seal of excellence from the Dice Tower, the vaunted Dice Tower. I mean, what are you going to say? I mean,
that's gonna get a seal of trade
but
from
yeah,
around the
talk
board.
about Bad Company.
Seal of trade.
You talk about Bad Company, you have some respect on its name, okay? Because Bad Company is a seal of excellence. And what else are you gonna do with $60? Buy a few cards. What? What else?
You can buy like 3 sets of Marvel United.
Well, anyway, but it's. I've got so many people that not only that I like it, I like the game. I'm not going to say I'm in love with the game,
Oh,
but
You
so
like
many people that I like so many people that I've introduced it to, family members, my wife, whatever, and in our other play groups, love the game. I mean, just let's play it again. Let's play it again right now. That's what I get. That's what I get from
Yeah.
Bad Company. So there's something about that game, and they knew it, and that's why they charge you $60 for it. But it is a shelf for me because it's getting played. Obviously, it's my number 1 played game of the year. It's staying on the shelf, and it's going to get played when. It's basically a filler game. Okay, if you don't know what Bad Company, it's basically a filler game. It's not going to take very long, and it's
You
there's
roll
not
dice,
a whole lot.
you do what the dice say. You get cards, maybe. You outrun a police cop, maybe, and if you don't, it doesn't even
matter. Right.
It's like
Anyway, Chris, what do you think?
So 2 things, people. First of all, we need your likes, your subscribes, and your shares because we need to become really popular to where our opinion matters. I want to see John's quote on the back of a box. What else are you gonna do with $60? Like, if that's not the seal of excellence, I don't know what is. What else would I do with $60? So this game, okay.
John from around the board rated shelf worthy. What else are you gonna do with $60? That'd be very good. That'd be very good.
Actually incredible. So yeah, like I've talked about this game before. I don't know. This game's not good. It's trade. I've not actually played Space Base. I want to play it because everyone's like, it's Space Base plus with weird art. And I'm like, okay. But everything I've seen of Space Base, like without playing it, actually looks good and interesting to me. But Bad Company, man, that game's bad.
It is bad.
You have some bad company if they want to play with this game.
Yeah, Bad Company or Bad Game. That's the name of the
It's
episode.
both.
Because
Check it out.
It's my most favorite title. It's not that clever, but also very clever.
It's true.
Because also when we learned it, it was in Bad Company.
Yes.
It was the worst learn ever.
Hostile environment.
It was very hostile, but I played it again, John.
And it was trying to teach a game to inmates in a prison. They were just trying to shank you and escape. It was kind of like that.
It was an awkward play and teach.
It's a little bit like that.
Weird night. It was a very weird night.
They're like, wait, so what? I picked the numbers on the dice?
Yeah.
Yes, that's all you do. We've been playing this for 1 hour.
We're supposed to be doing this the whole game. What have you been doing? Yes. Yeah.
I was rolling my own dice.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right. Yeah. Trade for me.
Okay. There's a shock. All right. Chris, what do you got? What's your number one? What is numero uno for El Meeple Negro?
Yes. Yeah, well, thank you. Thank you for the El Meeple Negro reference. I appreciate that. That was my favorite character of all time. So my game is Crusaders Thy Will Be Done. So this is a weird game for me. I honestly thought our group had this game for years because it came out in like I think 2017 or something like that. It's been a few years for sure. Maybe it's more like 2020. I don't know, but it's been a long time. And I swore our group had this game, and so I never bought it because I just thought it would look interesting and whatnot. But I never actually played it. Finally found it recently on a good deal and purchased it. And I read the rules. It's a very simple kind of engine builder kind of game. I don't even know how to describe this game. Maybe you guys can figure out a better way to describe this game than I do. But like, it's a simple kind of
a rondel.
It is.
It actually is a rondel.
It's a Mancala rondel.
Right. It's I think I've talked about it on the show before, but yeah, it's an interesting like you choose your it's kind of action choice. You choose your action based on a Mancala type. Oh, I just hit the mic. My bad. A Mancala type system. And I don't know, but it's an engine builder. You put like houses out on the build
As you build buildings, your actions get more powerful.
Correct. Yes. And then you're moving your knight across I don't know what you want to. What are you actually doing?
The Middle East? Yeah, because I think it's the Crusades.
Yeah, well, it is the Crusades. I was trying to
people to Christianity.
Yeah, there you go.
Building churches, converting people to Christianity. What else happened?
Correct, exactly.
That's it.
So,
eating croissants.
Yeah. So the theme is it definitely could be off-putting to people, possibly, but you can just. But the game itself is very solid and enjoyable. And in fact, I think it was actually the biggest hit with our group that I bought. I don't know if you guys have ever had this before, where you buy a game and you're like, I think people like it more than I do. I bought the game and I enjoy it, but like it seems like everybody else in our group likes it even more than me. It's gone really well.
That happened with Sidereal Confluence too.
That one especially. That one's especially more than me. I mean, I like the game. Don't misunderstand, but like that game really went over well. Way better than the other game we played it right at the same time that John just talked about. So it was at the same play time, but yeah, it's kind of a I don't even know how to describe this game really, but I don't know. It was just a hit, and I really enjoy it. It's a simple, plays in about an hour, but it's gratifying. So
yeah,
I don't know.
It's a shelf for me. I liked it. If you didn't have it, I'd try to pick it up, especially since it's TMG, which is out of business now. Right. There's still several copies. For whatever reason, it didn't make a big splash.
No.
Like Chris Yee from the Dice Tower, he actually is like one of his favorite games.
Yeah.
But he's literally the only person I've ever heard talk about it. So like I don't know what happened in this game. Maybe it was the theme. Maybe people didn't want to play with the Crusades or whatever. Yeah. I don't know, but yeah, it was a keeper for me.
Yeah.
For me, it's going to be a play for me because I haven't gotten enough of it yet. I'll go ahead and play it again. It's one of those games like Chris was saying. I thought somebody probably owned it as well, and I've been tempted to buy it several times over the years, just because of the theme. It's different. It's a different kind of theme.
Sure.
And it's not really area control. It's kind of a race to different areas.
Kind of,
and to different things on the board, and sometimes you might set somebody else up to do something if you're not careful. And so one of those kind of things. But yeah, I played it twice now with Chris. We got half of your plays in, right, or something like that. and I've enjoyed it both times.
A little less than half.
A little less than half. My bad.
I got 5.
And I would play it again. So yeah, that's going to be a play for me. I'm not ready to put it on the shelf yet, but it would probably get a spot there after I played it a few more times.
All right. Well, there are our 5 most played games of 2023. Let us know what your games were. Let us know if any of the games we talked about, if you hate them, if you love them. Let us know just how great Marvel is. I will never get tired of hearing people talk about the wonderfulness that is Marvel. So put that in the descriptions down there, or not in the description, in the comments, right down there. Okay. So, but yeah, this is a thing that we want to do on a more regular basis. We want to try to do a monthly recap. I don't know if all 3 of us will be here.
We should just recap 2023 every month.
Yeah.
Good.
Do it.
Game 1?
So never guess. Number 4 will shock you. Yeah, but maybe we'll get Andy. We'll do maybe not always live or whatever, but maybe not always 3, maybe not always 4, but we'll at least do 2.
Yeah, do a monthly recap.
Yeah.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah. So, but yeah, this was fun. I'm glad we did it, and let us know what your top 5 were, and yeah, just let.
Where are we gonna see them?
What?
We'll see you
Around the board.
They threw me off. I didn't even know what to do.
Got that part.